Taylor Swift filmed a brand new secret music video in Los Angeles, and we found out that a totally different music video was recorded during the Reputation era that we never saw. Travis and Taylor both posted about each other on social media. Swifties are in the month where they're living for the hope of it all. And the President of the United States shared his opinion about Taylor Swift again. Welcome to Hits Differently. I'm Molly, and clearly way too much happened in the last 2 weeks since our last episode, so Alex and I are never allowed to go on vacation again. Okay, we skipped last week. We were on vacation at the beach. I have a very fun Taylor moment to share about that I will tell you if you stick around to the end of this episode. It was lovely. When we returned, we found out that there was no internet at our place. So this episode is being recorded with me solo, without Ryan, due to these technical difficulties. Don't worry, there's another way that you'll be able to catch her this week on our live stream with Amir, The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'll tell you more about that later too. But the important thing is that we are back, and I am ready to catch you up on everything that has happened in the last 2 weeks, because there has been a lot. Before we get into all of that, I want to take a second to share our featured review of the week. Thank you to everyone who has left a rating or review on a podcast platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Wherever you're listening to your podcasts, it helps us so much if you leave a rating or review. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to go leave a rating or review or follow us on another podcast platform, that would be hugely helpful too. And then you have a chance to be featured as our next featured review. So Gabby in the gallery writes, Ryan and Molly for the win. I enjoy clowning with Ryan and Molly. They are so personable. I'd like to think we would all be friends in real life. They work so hard to keep us informed, and I appreciate it. This Swiftie flight attendant is sending you and the team lots of love and appreciation. Thank you, Gabby. That is so nice of you. It's so cool to think that there's a flight attendant out here listening to our episodes while you're traveling, and we wish that we could all hang out and listen to Taylor in real life too. Thank you for leaving that review, Gabby. If you'd like to go leave a rating or review, the link to Apple, Spotify, and all those podcast platforms are in the description of this episode. If you didn't see the news, there's so much news to share. This might be the biggest and best if you didn't see the news that we've ever had. Okay, I'm going to start from where we left off in our last episode, which you may remember was recorded in the middle of Taylor Nation's chaotic countdown that Swifties everywhere, and Ryan and myself included, thought was leading to some big announcement. We weren't sure if the countdown would continue after Taylor's first 6 albums. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a couple weeks ago, Taylor Nation was celebrating every day different albums of Taylor's, but in order. So it started with Debut or Taylor Swift, and then it went to Fearless, and then Speak Now, and they went all the way through to Reputation. We weren't sure if it would continue after Reputation into Lover, and it didn't. It stopped at Reputation. There was no announcement at the end of the countdown. Nothing happened. And we were just big clowns thinking that we were getting something, whether that was a documentary announcement, whether it would count through all of her albums and lead us to TS12. We were at the bare minimum thinking maybe they were going to release some new pressings of Taylor's first 6 albums that actually show that she owns them now since she bought her masters. But, you know, Swifties be clowning and clowns be clowning. And we clowned too hard because it was simply a celebration of Taylor's music, and we're here for that too, okay? We love embracing that Taylor owns all of her music now and being able to celebrate that. I'm still looping Reputation all the time. Let me know if you guys are still sitting with like the original albums or the Taylor's versions, and how you felt after that countdown ended after Reputation. Technically though, the countdown did lead us to something, because the day after the Reputation streaming party that was hosted by Taylor Nation, we weren't sure if we would get a Lover streaming party and celebration and it would continue. We weren't sure if Taylor Nation would celebrate Folklore's 5-year anniversary, which they did end up doing, by the way. But the real thing that we can all pretend Taylor Nation was counting down to was Travis Kelce's Instagram post, where he posted, had some adventures this offseason, kept it 100, like the 100 emoji. He posted this on Instagram, and The first photo was of him and Taylor wearing captain and first mate hats. And then as you swipe through all the photos, there were a bunch of pictures of Taylor and Travis, the two of them together, the two of them with friends, Travis with Jason and Austin, Taylor's brother. It was the best Instagram post ever. Okay. And he posted 13 photos in this carousel of photos on Instagram. Also have to note that kept it 100, 87 Travis's jersey number plus 13 Taylor's lucky number equals 100. So we see you, Travis. Thank you for giving the Swifties something on that Thursday when the official countdown ended. Honestly, that's better than anything else we could have gotten. It was Travis's first ever post of him and Taylor on his social media accounts. Taylor posted pictures of the two of them together back after the London shows last summer on the Eras tour. And she's posted to TikTok before after he won the Super Bowl, a really funny video of the two of them together. This is the first time Travis has posted them. And if you're like, why are people making a big deal about that? Why are they calling it a hard launch? We obviously know they've basically been dating for 2 years now. And he talks about her all the time. It's not like this is some secret, but I don't know. There is just something about the official post on Instagram, you know? The other big Travis news that happened outside of these 13 wonderful photos is that he shaved his head at Chiefs training camp. And if the photo dump didn't break the Swiftie internet, this definitely did, because so many people were talking about the fact that he shaved his long hair that he'd been growing out since last year. Personally, I love the shaved head look for him. I feel like it must be more comfortable to play football without that big head of hair. And he's getting locked in. Okay, we are weeks away from the season starting. I am so freaking excited for the season to start this year, to see how the Chiefs look, to see how Travis is going to do. And we're going to have a lot of Chiefs content coming to you this fall. So stay tuned for more info on that. The next day, Taylor posted on Instagram, this time an Instagram story, where she promoted Happy Gilmore 2, which Travis makes a cameo in. She said, "Had me cackling and cheering the whole movie. An absolute must watch. A 13 out of 10. Go watch it on Netflix as soon as humanly possible," with a honey pot emoji. And all I'm going to say about the honey pot emoji is that if you know, you know. If you watched Happy Gilmore 2, then you know. There are also rumors out there that Taylor was the bear in that scene. I've seen the clips on social media. I started watching Happy Gilmore 2 last night, actually. I didn't finish it. I was too tired. Had to get up early for work. Gonna be finishing it after I record this episode, probably. Let me know what you guys think if you have seen this scene or seen the movie. And so far, it's been a journey. Happy Gilmore 2 was not the only thing we were talking about that Friday, though, because, and just like that, season 3 had its final episode that premiered on HBO the same day that Happy Gilmore 2 came out on Netflix. And the Swifties were fed because they played How Did It End from Tortured Poets in that final scene. And I think it wasn't announced until after all this aired that this was like the final scene of the show. They aren't continuing with any more seasons. In case you're not familiar with And Just Like That, it's the continuation of Sex and the City. So it's coming to an end, and they played How Did It End? Okay, the next piece of news is probably the biggest news that happened the entire time that we were on vacation. And I have been so excited to talk about this with you all and get your thoughts. So there are reports that Taylor was recording a music video in Los Angeles. And these reports came out on Saturday, July 26th. And the report was that this shoot, this top secret shoot, happened on Thursday, July 24th, the same day that Travis posted those photos on Instagram, the day after the countdown ended. So again, technically a lot of stuff ended up happening after the countdown ended. It just wasn't what we were thinking it was going to be. And The Sun is the outlet that reported on this, which I've seen some people thinking, are they reliable? Can we trust this information? And I have to say, they're the ones who reported that Joey King and Taylor Lautner were filming with Taylor in Liverpool back in 2023 when she was on a quick break from the Eras tour. I think she had a week, maybe 2 weeks off or something in between shows. I think it was only a week. And there were reports that she was filming this music music video in Liverpool. The Eras Tour was in the United States at that point. She wasn't in Europe yet. We had some photo evidence of that. There was a really far away photograph or video that showed like Taylor and Joey and Taylor running, and I couldn't really believe it. But then it ended up being true because the I Can See You music video ended up premiering on the Eras Tour. So The Sun is the one who reported that, and they're the ones reporting this. I do kind of trust their intel. What do you guys think about this? The writer of this article, her name is Katie Forrester. She broke this news in the article, and then she posted on Twitter after, as people were interacting with her about it and asking what more she could share. She said, "It includes clothing from all different eras, including the 70s. Definitely pop, dancey from what I've heard. Some of the crew who worked on the Anti-Hero video too. Think upbeat pop vibes, clapping beat, fast." I mean, that's pretty exciting if you think about it. We're gonna get some upbeat pop vibes. We haven't really had that in a minute when you think about it. Tortured Poets, Midnights, Folklore, Evermore. Those have been our most recent new albums from Taylor. And while you can pick some upbeat songs from those albums, we have not had like true upbeat pop Taylor since Lover. Think Cruel Summer. Think I Think He Knows. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Lavender Haze has a beat that I love, and obviously Bejeweled and songs like that. But Daddy, I Love Him. Like, there are upbeat songs on these recent albums. Don't get me wrong. We've been daydreaming about what TS12 could sound like for so long. It's kind of wild that we could be at the point now where we could be getting it soon. I know we've been talking about getting it soon for a while, but the fact that a music video was shot for it, like, those things are usually the final sign of an album being announced. Like, the Fortnite music video for Tortured Poets was filmed in March, and then Tortured Poets came out in April, and we already knew about Tortured Poets at the time that Taylor was shooting that, but you get what I'm saying. Same with the I Can See You music video. I think that was also recorded in March, and it premiered by... when did it premiere? It premiered by July? Yeah, because that's when Speak Now Taylor's version came out. So this could mean TS12 is actually close. Like, we've been saying it's close, and we've been thinking it's close because we've gotten so many hints, but it's close. Okay, let me know what you think of all of this. The whole information about the vibe of the song and being upbeat and pop, while I am pumped about it, I am also taking it with a little bit of a grain of salt because there are reports that no one actually heard the song on set, that it was so top secret that the song wasn't being played at all for risk of leaks, and that those who were working on set could only hear the beat. So I guess they could know that it is upbeat and it's a driving fast beat, but they might not know the melody or the lyrics or any of those types of things. And Taylor's been doing that for a while. Okay, this wouldn't be the first video where the people who were working on set didn't actually hear the song. I know for sure she was doing that at least in the Lover era. I don't know how far back that whole strategy goes, but she has to keep things under lock and key because I haven't seen any photos of this music video shoot out there. No actual proof, just this report. So that's how tight she has to keep things locked. No one actually saw this, but somehow we still have heard about it. Shortly after, The Sun reported that Hits Daily Double popped back up. Now, you might remember from our last episode that we were talking about Hits Daily Double because they had reported about Taylor working on new music too, and then they edited their article. So what they wrote originally was, "What's more, seismic rumblings of a new Taylor set keep the Republic team as aggressive as ever." And then they ended up updating it to, "And there's always Taylor," just indicating that there's always a possibility of Taylor instead of saying that there are rumblings that something's happening with Taylor. And so Swifties noticed this, and we all started talking about it, and they didn't say anything. Then The Sun reports about this new music video shoot, and Hits Daily Double pops back in to say, "This is interesting. Quote, Taylor's emissaries must have loved our story because they immediately texted, called, and faxed us about it." So we have our answer as to why they ended up updating their article. Taylor's team asked them to. Again, Taylor tries to keep all these things under lock and key. I get it. Like, the Tortured Poets announcement was such a surprise. The Midnights announcement, Folklore Evermore, really, like, Yeah, all of them have been such a surprise lately that I do kind of wish that we were going to be just totally surprised like that and never see it coming. But at the same time, we're living in an era where we need some hope and excitement and something to look forward to. So I am kind of glad that we know a little bit that something could be close. All right, so you're caught up now on everything that happened last week that we would have talked about in last week's episode. Now we're on this week. So much has happened already just this week. Okay, Monday, August 4th, Joseph Kahn, a director that Taylor has worked with many times on epic music videos like Blank Space, Bad Blood, Look What You Made Me Do, Ready for It, the list goes on. He worked with Taylor a lot on 1989 and Reputation music videos. He said in an interview this week that there was another music video recorded in the Reputation era that we never got to see. It was fully recorded. They just ended up not working on it. And the song that it was for, I know you're all probably thinking Getaway Car, because that's the one Swifties have really begged for a music video from, and we wish that we got from the Reputation era, but it's actually King of My Heart, which is one of my all-time favorite Taylor songs and definitely one of my favorite Reputation Taylor songs. The fact that there is a King of My Heart music video out there in the vault, I need it. I need it. King of My Heart, body and soul. Whoa. Whoa, and all at once. Okay, I won't sing. You get the point. Okay, I can't believe Taylor made a music video for that, but apparently it was going to be a lead single, and she ended up deciding that Ready For It should be the lead single and going in that direction and making a music video for Ready For It. And as a huge King of My Heart stan, I have to say that I think Taylor made the right decision there, because Ready For It is iconic. And the fact that that was a single and one of the first songs we got off Reputation, and its commercial use and everything, like it ended up being used on ESPN's college football show opens that whole year. There's just like Ready For It's just so freaking good. So I can't really blame her, but I do wish that we could get that vault music video. What do you think? Do you think King of My Heart should have been a single over Ready For It? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Unfortunately, the news about the King of My Heart music video wasn't the only news that happened on Monday, August 4th. The other news is that President Donald Trump decided to talk about Taylor Swift again for literally no reason. He was weighing in on this Sydney Sweeney ad that is causing a lot of conversation right now, and for some reason said this about Taylor. Or just look at woke singer Taylor Swift. Ever since I alerted the world as to what she was by saying on Truth that I can't stand her, parentheses, hate, end parentheses, she was booed out of the Super Bowl and became no longer hot. The tide has seriously turned. Being woke is for losers. He goes on to say other things. And listen, we try to keep this show free of politics and the other things that are going on in the world and just focus on Taylor and her music, how it impacts our lives, what we're looking forward to next. Obviously, a little bit of Chiefs talk. I'm not trying to dive into any political opinions here whatsoever. I just need to list a few facts so that the president understands that Taylor is still hot. I don't know if he's talking about physically hot or like career-wise hot. Personally, I think Taylor's a beautiful human being inside and out. But regardless of that, here are some statistics about what's going on for Taylor this year, despite the fact that she's released no new music. Okay. So for example, Travis's Instagram post that I was telling you about earlier, that post with photos of Taylor got 3.6 million likes and over 67,000 comments. Trump's post at the time that I'm recording this has about 30,000 likes. So the amount of likes that he got is half the amount of comments that Travis got. So we're not even like talking about Taylor here. We're just talking about Travis Kelce's Instagram. Anyway, let's get to some career stats for Taylor that have happened recently. For example, Cruel Summer just passed 3 billion streams on Spotify this week. Cruel Summer, a song that wasn't even a single off of an album that people don't typically rate as one of even Taylor's best albums, but that's how big of a song Cruel Summer is. Folklore, the album that we just celebrated the 5-year anniversary of its release, has been in the Billboard Top 200 since its release 5 years ago. 5 years strong. And actually, it never fell out of the top 100 of the Billboard 200. The fact that this album was a genre change for Taylor, that she went into folk and writing less autobiographical, more storytelling, switched up her sound, dropped it with no promotion, and it stayed in the top 100 for 5 years, I think that speaks for itself. I have a feeling that TS12 is going to break all of these records. So that's my TED Talk on some recent Taylor statistics that prove that she is still highly relevant, despite the fact that she hasn't released any new music since April of 2024, and that her tour ended in December. She's still pretty relevant. Still getting a lot of streams, still getting a lot of success, just bought back all of her masters. Anyway, the last piece of news that I want to share with you actually plays into all of this because Taylor received a nomination for the 2025 MTV VMA Awards for Artist of the Year, despite the fact that she hasn't released any music this year yet. Any music yet that we know of. Maybe MTV knows something that we don't. Maybe they're putting her in there for a reason. That is the only category that she was nominated for because she has nothing else that qualifies in this cycle for the VMAs. Go vote for Taylor for Artist of the Year. We will link to that in the description of this episode. All right, if you stuck around this long, I promised you a story from my vacation, and it's the most meta Taylor story that I could possibly share, which is that the last day of our vacation at the beach, which, by the way, this is like my favorite beach in the world. I've been going there with my family since I was really little. It's where Alex proposed. It has so much sentimental nostalgia for me, this special beach. And the song August has always made me think of this place. The production of it just sounds like the beach to me. And it sounds like this watching the sunset at this beach. And as some of you may know, I have a tattoo that says "For the Hope of It All," which is lyrics from August. And Ryan and I actually got our tattoos last summer when we were in Barcelona before we went to see Taylor in Edinburgh at the Eras Tour. Long story short is that I have not been back to the beach since I have my August tattoo, my "For the Hope of It All" tattoo. So here I am on my beach vacation, feet in the sand, my tattoos on my ankle, looking out for the hope of it all. The last day of vacation happens to be August 1st. Of course, I'm listening to August. You have to listen to August in August. And I just had this like overwhelming emotion of happiness, nostalgia, joy of being able to listen to a song that I love so much that I got the lyrics of it tattooed on my body and being able to listen to it in the place that the song makes me think of. It was just so full circle. Hopefully this is making sense to you guys. I had a moment with August in August, and I'm sure that a lot of you are also streaming August lately, so you're also living for the hope of it all. It's just such a freaking good song. So I had to share that moment with all of you. And if you're watching this video on Patreon or on YouTube, then you're seeing I have my folklore vinyls behind me too. We're in the folklore month, okay? It came out in July, but I think a lot of Swifties think of folklore as like July to September is like when the vibes of folklore are strongest. And August is a big part of that. If you're missing Ryan in this episode, don't worry, because you'll be able to catch her on our live stream with Amir about the summer I turned pretty. At the time that I'm recording this, we're still nailing down the final details and confirming that we are going to do this live stream on Thursday to recap everything that's happened in these last couple of episodes, all the way through episode 5. The last time that we all chatted was after episodes 1 and 2, so it's been a couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure that by the time this episode comes out, this will all be locked in. in. So look for us on Thursday night. It'll either be Amir's channel, which we'll link to in the description of this episode, or our channel on Thursday night, probably either 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we will be talking all things The Summer I Turned Pretty. The episode that's supposed to come out this week from Conrad's point of view is probably going to be one to talk about. And you are going to want Ryan and Amir's thoughts on everything that has happened in these last couple of episodes. We're also working on some new ideas for our content that we cannot wait to share with you guys. We're hoping to start rolling some of these ideas out in the fall. So make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, join our Patreon. That's the best way to support us, and follow us wherever you're listening to this podcast so that you can stay tuned for everything that we have coming up. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.